Okay, good morning everyone. It's time to kick this event off. And to start with, I would like to introduce myself a little bit for those of you who don't know me. I'm chairman of the Electrum Foundation and being part of this Urban ICT Arena. And in parallel with that, I work with Ericsson and have done so since the early 90s. So I've been here in Kista for some time now. And I've seen the environment grow here during the year to quite different from when I started here at that point in time. But to start this event, I very well would like to welcome you very much, and I'm happy to see that so many of you have joined us here today. It's a great pleasure for me to give this introduction and start the celebration of a one-year journey for the Urban ICT Arena. And will be really exciting to go around here and see some of the projects that have grown during this year. This way of working here in Kista between the academia, industry and city has been very successful, I would say, and started almost, well, in the beginning of 80s or in the mid-80s with the microelectronic program that was started here in Kista. And then, as you know, the mobile industry grew from Kista, and now we are in the midst of digitalization the whole society. So it's really exciting to be here in Kista where we have the academia, industry and city being present in these collaboration projects that we are running, or the program that we are running. The Urban ICT Arena, I think, from what I've seen, is a really good opportunity to gather our forces from different disciplines, both technology and society, as well as different industry segments can actually join here and evolve. As you know, it's really tough competition out there, and we really need to attract, educate and develop experts in different disciplines to be competitive. And I would say when looking at Kista and Urban ICT Arena, we have formed an ICT cluster which is actually known worldwide. It has been seen and been recognized as a worldwide ICT cluster. And we should continue with that, and I think the Urban ICT Arena is a perfect platform for both, of course, joining our forces, but also to market Kista, Stockholm and Sweden being a forerunner in ICT technologies. So with that, I would like to kick off the summit, and you will see very many different projects here during the day being presented, and what have come up within this first year, I think is really extraordinary. And I think looking forward, we will see results from all these projects running around here in Kista. And I'm very positive and very exciting to see this going forward now. But let's dwell on this anymore. I hand over to Petra here, who will handle all the practicalities and run the agenda here for today. So again, very welcome to this event today, and I wish you a very enjoyable morning here.
Hi. Hello. The City of Stockholm has a strategy for Stockholm as a smart and connected city. The goal is to make Stockholm a sustainable city with innovative digital services, transparency and connectivity. Achieving this goal will require that we collaborate with industry, academia and research institutes, which is exactly what we are doing at Urban ICT Arena. And this gives Stockholm an additional competitive advantage in a rapidly changing world. Therefore, both as a mayor of Stockholm and vice chairman of the Electrum Foundation, I have a message for everyone involved in Urban ICT Arena. Thank you for the outstanding job you are doing. You are really making a difference.
So, thank you, Jan, and thank you, Karin Vangård, who unfortunately couldn't be with us here today. The Mayor of Stockholm, also the Vice President of the Electrum Foundation. So, I really feel that we are supported, and it's great to see you all here. It makes me super happy. My name is Petra Dalunde, and I will guide you through this morning. But first, let's go over to the important stuff. We have emergency exits here in case of emergency, and they are up there, down here, here around the corner, and there are 2 ones out there as well. So you really can get out here fast if you want to. And also there is a defibrillator heart helper in the wardrobe where the restrooms are as well. So now you are super oriented here in this amazing place. Thank you, Ericsson, for having us here. We are happy. And for all of you who wonders how it goes for me, I'm now level 40. The highest level. Enough of me. This is the program for today. We are half into the introduction section. We will soon have Christer Forsberg from the City of Stockholm talking about what they are doing and have done this first year. And then we have our new founding partner, ABB, with Ola Norén, who is going to present himself. And then the real interesting stuff comes, with all the founding partners telling you what they've been doing this first year, what they will do next year, and what they are missing. And in between, we will, of course, have fika and a startup pitch with Dragon's Den and prize ceremony. That's cool. Everything in before lunch. I think that's cool. One thing that I need to tell you, if you need to leave here early, go to the reception and you will get this year's wand for exchange of your badge. Don't forget that. This year's wand. If you don't show your badge, you won't get the wand. Don't forget that. Please, Christer, come up and have the stage.
Hello, my name is Christer Forsberg Philip, CDO of Stockholm City. Unfortunately, the mayor stole my whole presentation, so I had to rewrite it very, very quickly. Yeah, we can change. So, what we have done in the city of Stockholm from 2015, we started to develop a strategy for Stockholm as a smart and connected city. The 1st of November this year, we appointed the first project managers for the various business development projects we are going to run during the next year. When we developed the strategy, we didn't sit in the city hall by ourselves. We did it together with the citizens of Stockholm, the business, the academy. We did it with other public service organizations. So one thing is certain. We can't build the city of Stockholm as the smartest city in the world 2040 by ourselves. We have to do it together with everyone around us. I mean, someone that lives within the region in another municipality than the city of Stockholm doesn't really care where the borders lays between the different municipalities. A citizen in the region wants to move seamlessly, basically, between the different parts of Stockholm. Our strategy It aims at, as our mayor said, Stockholm to be a sustainable city. So we have 4 sustainability goals. It should be ecologically, financially, democratically, and socially sustainable. And that means that we need to do things in all areas where we have users of our services. If we go to the next slide, please. Next. Here. Yeah. I said we have to do this together. So we need to collaborate, and at the moment the City of Stockholm is involved in various collaboration projects around the city. So we have Grow Smarter, Digital Demo Stockholm, Digital Care. We run various projects in the Stockholm Royal Seaport, and Smart and Connected City, which is the thing that we now start to build up the program and the projects around. And of course, Urban ICT Arena. And so basically all, I would say. The projects that we now start to run in the Smart and Connected City, I see some of the project managers are here in the audience for that. So what we're going to start with is smart lights, smart traffic lights, and smart locks. And smart lights and smart locks are projects that we have participated in here in the Urban ICT Arena. So now we move it into, not full scale, but we will take an area in Stockholm and go full-blown in that area. So thanks to Urban ICT Arena, we have been able to try out these technologies that we're now going to get out in the city through that project. So if we take the next slide, please. What we see is basically that Urban ICT Arena is critical for the digital development of this city. With that, thank you.
Thank you, Christer. Super exciting. We are so happy to have Stockholm, the city of Stockholm, with us. And I really love the picture where Urban ICT Arena was in the center of everything. Okay. Ola.
Yes.
Welcome to Urban ICT Arena.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Excellent. Good morning. How are you? First of all, thanks a lot to all the Ericsson employees here for hosting us here. It's a wonderful place. You get a lot of inspiration just walking around. And thanks a lot, Petra, for running this for this year and making all this happen. You can tell I'm new between the quite boring way I addressed myself this morning and Petra, who's used to work in a not boring way. I will improve. Next year I will be back, because now we're in the Urban ICT Arena, and we'll try to influence this as much as we can. Why is ABB here? What's the reason for us joining? I came down to 4 words. First one is courage, because that's something we need to be bold. We need to dare to do things we haven't done before. Second one was innovation. We've always been sort of the avant-garde in a lot of technical solutions, trying to sort of make the world a better place. But as things are evolving ever faster, we need to increase that effort. And this is a good place to be. Then we have cooperation. So the core essence of the Urban ICT Arena. We like to do all these things, not by ourselves, but together with all of you and others, and have this as a test bed. And the fourth one is the partnership. Does anyone know the definition of partnership? Then we have a problem. It's when 2 or more people work with common efforts towards a common goal. And when we don't really know where the future lies, I think we need to sort of just we need to accept we can't solve it ourselves. We need to form partnerships in a very early stage. So with courage, boosting innovation, cooperation and partnership, I think we all will come to a better place. And you'll see, hopefully you'll see, yet to be proven, but we'll try to work with the infrastructure and we'll try to work through all the 4 layers up into the business models. But again, together with you.
This is wonderful news, Ola. Give him an applaud. I have a question for you. Since we are starting to talk about the Auto Magic City here in Urban ICT Arena, I wonder, as a citizen, what do you wish for in an Auto Magic City?
What do I wish for in an Auto Magic City? You pretty fast come to realize that there are tons of data out there, but they're very isolated. So if you can just sort of connect all that data, we don't need to add many more sensors or putting in more data into the system, but just to draw the conclusions from the data that we already have. So things would happen in an automagical way. Because for those of us interested in technical solutions, a lot of technical solutions will be rolled out. But for those, well, I suppose they're not being present here today, but for people not really interested in all the technical things, a lot of things will just be automagical. Things will just happen.
Great. I will hold you on that in the steering committee during next year, Ola. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tack.
Okay, so now we have come to the part where we start to listen to what actually has been occurring here in the testbed this year. And first out is Anders Broberg. And he is also responsible for live streaming this occasion. So now he is being mic'd and everything, so I can small talk. How are you doing? Great. Did you get a nice breakfast as well? Have you talked to someone that you haven't talked to before? Great. Then it's working just as I predicted. Anders,
yeah?
The floor is yours.
Checking there?
Yes.
Thank you to being here. Stokab is the IT infrastructure company in Stockholm. And this is quite a good picture how the city of Stockholm look at the infrastructure. The city responsible is for the physical infrastructure. You have the roads since many thousands years, who is really good for connecting people, trade, innovation, and so on. And later you had railway, and today you have the fiber. So we have a history in Stockholm to provide just the physical cables for everyone to promote better competition, more diversity, more freedom of choice, and more innovation in that case. So we are founded in '94. In the fiber history, it's quite long time. We have today about 900 customers, and that's one example that it's a lot of different players in the society who need fiber by themselves to create what they want to do. It's not only the operator, the broadband mobile operator, who need fiber for delivery broadband. A lot of other need this. For example, Ericsson, who is here, who is using fiber directly to connect the data center to have control, and that without going to the operators. We have also, like the TV production, who take in the fiber directly in the camera and have a new innovation way to produce TV. And because we, as a city, don't know how people is going, we need to have fiber everywhere. So we have quite a lot of fiber. And so in that case, when talking about smart city, we have quite long experience to connecting houses where you have a lot of challenge for this type of what you can do in a smart city. So if you look inside a smart city, in smart house, you have broadband, you have the landlord's need to control the heat and watching what's happening and so on. You have healthcare and so on. And all this is different business models. There's different models for all this. So the reason for this, you need a lot of fiber in every houses to be able to handle all that different business models. And we have it, of course. So why are we in Urban ICT Arena when we already have connected, I would say, nearly every houses, and we have rolled out the street for all this? Well, our challenge, as we see as an infrastructure company, is in the street environment. So we are here to learn more about what need fiber and what need not fiber. Where, how, who, and what's to which price. So in a smart city, I think it will be a lot of things who will be connected. I'm not surprised that the city of Stockholm will have 5 years, 10 million sensors who it's connected. The most of them will be connected wireless, I think. But some sensors who really need high broadband capacity and or need a secure connection. So, for example, a connection who can run in a crisis situation where the mobile network are really heavy used, would need it. So we try really to find out which type of solutions or service need fiber and which need not. And you can't do that only at your desk and looking at the internet. You can have a clue of where you look, but you need to come here to build and see to do that. And where? Because that's really interesting for an infrastructure company, because the high cost is to digging. So it really need to know where to dig, so not digging in the right place. That would be total ineffective. So that's also a reason. Where are different actors have need for things who need fiber or heavily broadband? And how? We have quite experience to connect houses, buildings. Yes, so we are quite skilled to dig, but no one is interested in just in fiber. Where should you end up with the fiber? Which type of switches do you need, contacts, which material, how to build this in an effective way to maintain and deploy this in this way. And you only learn that if you do it by yourself and do it. And who? Traditionally, we're talking about broadband, we're talking about the operators. But what we see and learn from the history is that a lot of other players who need a good connection. So which are these actors who need good broadband connection? And the only way to find out this is to going around asking, asking what challenge are you in front of? What do you see? Because a lot of actors today don't know that they maybe need fiber. So it really try to see what do you have a problem to solve, and then go back and think, okay, they maybe need, they may not. And then we, of course, came out in this last with the price. What would be the price the different actors are willing to pay for connection? So if the only way, I would say, to find a better answer on all these questions is to be here and doing things. So that leads us to what we already had done. This is both this year and the last year. We have connected 15 places here, längs Kistagången, and connect them with fiber, with cabinets, with power, and so on. So it's very low threshold for all actors here to use it, to put their equipment and so on. We are cooperate with many actors, start that, because we have cooperated before, but this is boosting this cooperation. We have developed new methods. I can talk hours about technical development we have done. Also failure, because this is made a lot of failures, and we're happy that we made failure here and not when we are going to build 500 or 1,000 places in the city. We are testing a lot of different materials, equipment, and also to map a lot of challenge and opportunity in this case. So right now, we develop smart bus stop. You can look at this if you go out there. The light is going on right now. You can change the light in both color and strengths in that case. We have doing this with the bus stop with a lot of manufacturer. We have, of course, developed a lot of boxes with the company who have built the bus stop. We have developed some, UDF is the contact in the fiber branch, optical digital frames. With other companies, we developed a light with Anel, is another one. We have with Ericsson put in base station in this. If you look carefully, you maybe not could see it's base station in the bus stop. And we starting now with interactive screens to be enabled when you had automatic buses here, and with SL commuting company, how could they do better information and interact with people who is going with the bus and so on. We're testing together with the city a new way to measure traffic flow, pedestrian, different technique with the companies with Scandon, Edenside, Bambi Labs, and so on. Also with the environment impact from cars, we have put up CCTV cameras in lamp pools with a new technical way to do it and learn how to use old things and put new things in. We're starting testing multi-sensors, and we also try different techniques, wireless low frequency, with different techniques and companies in that case. And also with Hexatronic, we're trying to use, you can look at this up here, coming with the power together with the fiber to have one better way to solve that problem, use that. So, and you will ask what we want in this testbed. Well, to be frankly, I would say the most, not all, but the most of the sensor is, I will not say crap, but it's on consumer level. It's consumer production who maybe be a little bit upgrade to doing, but this is not sustainable in a smart city. You need better things, mechanic, software in that, really robust in that case. And also together, we're not really interested in all the package, because the city want to buy pieces by pieces and could change pieces and not be depending on different companies. So that, unfortunately, a lot of this sensor service you get is all from the sensor with the database, with the analyze, and so on. We get vertical solutions, other more or less open, but vertical. So we really want to see more professional sensor manufacturer, equipment partner here who can realize that they could have a future to build really good sensors who are open for different way to connect them. So they must be, in our case, talking IP in that solution. So if you want to have a mobile or fiber or whatever, it's no problem. All things to fiber. That's what I want to see. And the second one, I think it's together with each other. I think it's a huge benefit for society if we could have not only self-driving cars, robots, drones, and so on. We need some automatic system to handle this. Maybe you can look at for the flight, have system to handle all the flights, airplane in the air. I think we need the same for maintains and handle all these things in a city. I think this would be great to testing here, how to handle and secure that people could walk together with robots and drones flying together and all this. And I will also say this system for automatic maintenance in the street. Why don't we have things going around robots to clean the street, to repair, to doing all these things? I will really like to see it. That's what might happen to want to this.
Great, Anders. Thank you. Okay, I'm a bit curious because I was out last night looking at this amazing bus stop, and there were 3 young people sitting there. So I asked them, "Are you waiting for the bus? Because there are no buses stopping there." And they said, "No, no." Okay, so they were just sitting there enjoying the light. So I asked them, "Which light do you prefer?" And can you guess what they answered?
No.
No, okay. They said red. And I asked why? And they said, "It feels warmer." So we need to start playing around with this. And I'm so happy that this bus station is actually happening now. But Anders, what would you as a citizen ask for in an automagic city?
I think I'll be a little inspired from you when you talk about Pokemon Go and all this, that you need to cooperate in the real world to fighting to the boss and so on and solve problems. I would, in an automatic city, have some way that the automatic met that people I needed for the moment to have creative and solve some problems to helping me coming closer to a solution and problems.
That's super interesting, because now we are talking about like a behavior layer or citizen platform thing that could make this happen. So we have to take it step by step, I think. But I know that you will definitely be on board on the whole journey. And I'm so grateful for this. Thank you, Anders, for coming and doing everything you do.
Thank you.
Anders. Speaker's gift.
Thank you.
Okay. This goes well. Now, it's time for Ericsson and Shandor. Shandor, please come.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're enjoying it. It's a great pleasure to have you here. I think we can tell that probably it was my idea, like a little bit like to host you here for the first summit. This is not the last summit, that's for sure. And it's so nice to have so many of you here. You can come anytime, by the way. It's a really, really lively place, and then it changes a lot of times that what kind of new innovations we have from Ericsson. I didn't know that I can make a list for Santa Claus just like Anders did. So I have a little bit of different presentation. Sorry about that. So let's talk about then the Ericsson Garage, which became, since February, became the front end towards the Urban ICT Arena. And then I tried to explain to you what Ericsson Garage is and then why we think from Ericsson, through the Ericsson Garage, that it is so important for us to have Urban ICT Arena, and what are our plans and what we can do together to make Sweden great again. So Ericsson Garage is a knowledge and technology incubator. It's very, very important. It's not yet another business incubator. This is very important. We are working with very, very ideas. So it's important to understand that business case kills the idea. So instead of really you are obsessed with the business case or you're obsessed with technology, like Anders, this is very good for building an infrastructure. But it's, when it comes to innovate on top of this, it's very important that you are really obsessed with the pain point. And Urban ICT really gives us a vast majority of pain points. What we can have in an automated and automagic city, how the citizens should live, how academia, how together with other big partners like ABB or IBM or StockHub, we can work together. So this is very, very important for us, learning lots of knowledge. The other one is that it's a perfect open innovation test bed. We can test here, we can build minimum viable products. So we can create something we can experiment in a very controlled and very nice way when we don't have to be we don't have to be risk about failing. So it's a very safe environment, very important for us. Of course, it can give us a totally different attitude when it comes to our employees or our partners. They can come here, they can test themselves out. We can bring in, just like we did, operators and then other cities, we can bring in, and then we can test them together here in Stockholm, in the Urban ICT Arena. And more than that, it could be a blueprint for them so they can take it away and they go back home and then I show them what they are having. So all in all, I think it's very, very important that Urban ICT Arena gives us a very new open innovation platform in two different ways. One of them is open when it comes to us, and open when it comes to that it's open in the city. So it's a controlled environment for outdoor testing. So we really can have new engagement with our current customers and with our new customers and then new partners as well. So that's very important. So what are we planning to do? We are planning 4 different tracks now, and I started this year in the Ericsson garage. One and most important, of course, for us is our own customers, the operators. How we can bring them here, how we can create something together with them. And not just, of course, with the Swedish and Nordic operators, but also operators from all over the world. How we can bring in Axiata from Malaysia, how we can bring in Etisalat from Dubai, who is really, really pushing now to have a very beautiful Dubai Expo 2020. How we can learn together, how we can be inspired, what we can learn from them as well. The second one is very important, our own employees. They have to have a very good place to play around. Ericsson has lots of people here in Sweden, but we have 110,000 people all over the world. And from all the garages, all the people who would like to innovate, either with critical machine-type communications, anything which is related to a sustainable future, they could come here and test themselves out. Startups, especially from this year, became very, very important. We had our first Ericsson Garage Startup Challenge during the dry season, meaning is that we did this during the summer. 3 weeks, more than 150 companies applied from all over the world. We had a live, as part of the Stockholm Tech Fest, we had a live Dragon's Den here. And of course, the winners are onboarded and got an opportunity to be in the Urban ICT Arena. So we are using Urban ICT Arena as a great asset also for us. It's a great value what Ericsson could give, for example, to startups, or as a matter of fact, for academia. We started to have discussions how we can have a university challenge in Dubai together with Etisalat and Intel, and the grand prize winner will come to Stockholm and get an opportunity to be in the Urban ICT Arena. We just had a meeting with Malaysia, with the universities there, how together with Axiata we can have an innovation challenge and then come them, and they love this. They really see Stockholm as a vibrant, innovative city, and they love that Ericsson can bring them here and then onboard them and work together with you, who are also very important stakeholders. So this is what we are planning to do. And then today we already have a very, very nice platform. 1 year ago, 18 months ago, last April, we had only 2 garages all over the world. But now we have like 14. 3 in North America, tons in Europe. We had the first one open up a couple of weeks ago in Beijing. Melbourne and also Singapore is really there. As you could see that in Sweden, we have already 4, Göteborg, Lund, Linköping, and here in Stockholm, Karlskrona is already up in the pipe. So we really can bring the whole world and whole Sweden down here to Urban ICT Arena, and vice versa, we can bring Urban ICT Arena also out to the world. So I hope that we can really positively, in a win-win situation, leverage the global reach of Ericsson, which is we are in 180 different countries. So this is our plans, and this is what we are doing, Petra.
Amazing. It's amazing, Shandor, and it scares me. It means more work for us, but a lot more benefit for everyone, and that's super great. So thank you, Shandor.
Thank you very much.
But before you leave, I have to ask you the mandatory question now. What would you, as a citizen, wish for in an Automagic city?
I think it would be super good that this Automagic city is also sustainable from a stress perspective. That is basically stressless. I would like to have a very calm and livable city where you don't have to stress about transportation, about your safety, about all of these things. So for me, probably one of the biggest pain points is this extra stress when the city gives you, and especially when it's a big urban place. Like if you've been to Sao Paulo or Beijing or Singapore, you know what I'm talking about. So let's try not to have that here in Sweden and Stockholm or all over the world when we talk about smart cities.
I think that's a fantastic idea. Thank you again,
Thank you very
Shandar.
much.
Okay. So, now it's time for Klaus. Please enter. I will give you the clicker.
Thank you. Yes, you hear me? Okay. My name is Klaus. I'm with RISE, and I will talk a little bit about our activities here in Urban ICT Arena, what we have done and what we're doing now. I will give you some examples from different projects. So it's just a snapshot of what we're doing. But what I will try to do is to show you this, like a kind of holistic view of everything that's needed in a city, all the way from sensors, collecting sensors, to platforms, to cool services and visualization. And first, I think you should think about, to make all this work, or at least in my head, think about the city as a platform for data-driven innovation. That's where we are heading. So, and when I'm lost, sometimes I look at my phone. This is a platform. Think of the city as a platform. So why do we talk about smart cities? What's the interest? Well, one of the things is basically that you can automate analog processes and functions today. So they become more effective. The city can save money that can be used other places in the city where it's maybe needed more. Then also when you start to measure a lot of things, you get a better overview of what's happening. You get a better understanding of different systems, how different systems interact, and you can make better decisions based on that. What I think is very interesting is, and this is really data-driven innovation, that you will get to a point where data that's from one place where it has a value can actually be used in another place. Maybe you don't know that today. That will add some extra value, so you will get new types of services from new types of actors. And I think this is the most exciting part of what we're going to see. It'll also bring new ways of involving the citizens. And I'll give you examples of all these. And almost above all this is within a few years from now with today's technology. So I'm not talking about autonomous driving or artificial intelligence or drones or anything. So this is something that can be done almost immediately. Now, when you talk about data-driven innovation, you need data, of course, and you need access to data. The thing is, and Anders Broberg talked a little bit about that as well, you don't really get access to all the data that's out there because often it's locked into silos, and that can be like different departments in the city. And it could be inaccessible for practical reasons or technical reasons, or it could be something that a supplier to the city, that they measure something, but they own the data, they will not share it, and so on. So there are so many hinders today, but we need to release data in order to do this data-driven innovation. And that's one of the big challenges today, I think. So in the ideal world, we want to collect all data within the city. And it could be like static data from databases or all the millions of sensors that we'll see in the future, collect them at one place and then make it available from the same place. So that everyone that's authorized to get access to some kind of data can easily access it. I don't say that anything should be available to anyone, but if you're authorized, it should be easy to access any data that you need to access for creating a service or anything. And when we start talking about that, breaking these vertical structures, transforming them into something more horizontal, you need to talk about platforms and interoperability and standards and so on. And this is really my favorite subject. And I am not going to talk about that now because it would bore the most of you to death. But I'll talk about something else. But this is really critical in order to make this automatic city, that this is well controlled. So I'll give you some examples of what we're doing. You heard about the sensor networks before. You need to have something that can collect all the sensor data. And there are different technologies out there. And they have their different advantages and disadvantages. And I don't know what is the best, but I think that they will coexist in the future. That some will be good for some applications and other will be good for other applications. And it's not that important what you choose, really, I think. But we have installed a LoRa network within Urban ICT Arena. So you see here to the right, it's on Jan Stenbeck's toy in the, northwestern corner. If you look up, you'll see the antenna there and a small base station. You can see in the upper right corner. That one is connected to one of these access points that Anders Boberg talked about. So it's connected to St. Erik Komp's switch and down on Stokop's fiber to the node or research room for Urban ICT Arena. And there we put it on our own fiber up to Hudiksvall, where we have our IoT platform. And it's a high capacity, it's very secure, it's really overkill, but we do it because we can do it. And then we get access to the data in Hudiksvall through the internet. We also have installed an antenna in Kista Science Tower. And you see the photo there to the left. It's not connected yet, but will be soon. So we have coverage of the whole of Kista, really. And if you want to get access on LoRa, you can just talk to us and we'll get you access. Now, there are other ways of collecting data. We have this bicycle here. It's a shared electric bike that we will set up in our Kista offices, or we have 2 of these at the moment. But they will also double work as a distributed sensor network. So it's a kind of a mobile testbed. And if you think about it, there are so many cool things you can do with a bicycle once you start to employ sensors on it. And it could be something individual data, it could be health data, it could be something about how, if you're training, for example, I'm losing concentration now. But it could also be crowdsourced data. So like maybe if the citizens, they want to crowdsource data about air quality and noise, because this bicycle has a sensor package measuring, for example, noise and different kinds of air quality. Maybe if all the citizens, they could add their values, then you would have a complete map of how this air quality and noise levels, how they would be in Stockholm, which is completely different from the way that you're doing today. We will, yep. You can come down afterwards. There's a break afterwards to have a look at this one. Thanks, Elsa. When you get all this data, you need to visualize it in a good way, because we get so much data that already today it's hard to understand what's going on. If you just look at the city of Stockholm, they have so much open data. I don't know how many of you have been to look at this platform. It's on the internet, anyone can access it. But even though there's so much data, it's still hard to get an overview of this. So I think we need visualization services here. And basically anything that can be measured and positioned can even be placed in a map. The map thing is something that's really popular now because it gives a really good overview. And again, with better overview, you can have better decisions. So this can be used for the city or for the suppliers of services to the city and so on. But there's also transparency and democracy aspects here, that the citizens can see what's going on. So for example, if we collect all this noise data and air quality data, Then you can make heat maps around Stockholm, for example. You can see, okay, so where will there be a lot of noise? Which places are very noisy or which will be polluted? And that can change over the day or over the week or over the year. And there are big local variations. The wind can change everything, for example. So if you imagine if you want to buy a house, then maybe you don't want it to be too noisy. Then you look at the heat map, so, oh no, so every time or every day at around noon, it's too noisy here. I can't live here if you have a problem with noise. Or if you have, if you're choosing a school for your children, then you don't want them to be at a school with that's where it's too polluted. And like just things like that. And you can imagine thousands of other services for the citizens here. I will give you an example of a visualization we have done. So we have, not yet, we have cheated a little bit. We can do this in real time, but we weren't sure that it would work now because it requires a lot of capacity from the computer and a good network connection. So it's a video clip. And I will try to guide you through this one. It's based on photographs from airplanes of Stockholm. And this is Kista that we will show. There will be a lot of points of interest that you will see with different colors. Something is simulated, but the ones that I will point at is something that we are actually measuring. So now I will call it real-time data. It's not real-time data because this has been recorded, right? But we can do it in real time. So you have to trust me on that one. Okay, please. It's based on a game development engine, a professional one. So you will see here, we zoom in over Kista. You can see the time of the day down to the right. This is in the middle of the summer, so we could get more light. And you see the shadows are changing now. Here up to the left, you have Peter's office. And now we're zooming in on Ericsson Studio. You see it there. So this is where we are now in this building. You see the different streams there. The light blue one is energy, how it's moving in Kista. Now the blue one here, this is from the bicycle. This is a trace from the bicycle. And on that one, we are measuring different parameters. Here you see temperature, humidity, and noise, which will change once when you're using your bicycle here in Kista. And we can record that and we can play it up for all the different traces that we have. This is my office. This is the indoor temperature. This goes over the LoRa network that I showed you before. I have the outdoor temperature as well. It's 2 degrees, and it's from the day before yesterday or something. From the Electrum building. Here you have these power streams, you could say as well. And basically you can get access to all the power because all the power meters, they're connected to Photon's network. So you have a My Pages for that. So we get into the databases there. This is for the Electrum building. We have 5 meters there, and we have a total of, it was around 100 kilowatts of power being used, but you saw it was varying. I don't know if you, if you managed to see anything. But this is just an example of how to visualize this enormous amount of data that you will get in a way that you start understanding it. Yeah, next one. So, Rise in Urban ICT Arena. So it's our own backyard testbed. So we are present in more testbeds around the country, but this is the one closest to our heart, of course. And we use it as a demo facility also for what we're doing. And what we like about it is that all types of actors are found here. So big companies, small companies, the municipality, universities, and so on. And we've got so many contacts just this year that we wouldn't have got, I guess, if we hadn't had Urban ICT Arena. So it's really great for us. And as some of the other speakers talked about too, this is a journey that we're on together with the smart cities. No one can do this alone. We have to work together We have to collaborate. We have to coordinate things between us. So so it'll be good. So with that, this was not so elegant. I was trying to make it elegant. Yes. So with that, I want to say happy birthday to Urban ICT Arena. Thanks.
Thank you, Klaus. Do you know how much I want to have that thing?
Yeah.
So everyone can access and find their own data in it.
Mm.
So that is something we really should make happen next year.
The photo material is owned by the city of Stockholm, so we have to make some kind of agreement.
Christer, we have to make this happen.
Mm.
Okay, so Klaus, what would you as a citizen ask for in an automagic city?
So I think it's the small things really that will make my life easier. And I'm traveling around a lot with the buses, so I'm kind of frustrated over that I don't get right information. But for example, as a thing that I like some kind of color or something at the bus stop. So I need, now my bus is coming. I need to run, or I can take it easy. These small kinds of things that'll just make life a little bit easier to me. That's what I will. I don't have any big wishes like that.
I think that's a beautiful wish. Thank you, Klaus.
Thank you.
Okay, now what you have all been waiting for a bit early though, it's time for fika. So get up, talk to people, and gather together here at 11 o'clock. Så där, då börjar det dra ihop sig. Anders Broberg, är vi on? Ja, tack så mycket. Välkomna, welcome back everyone. It's time for us to do this startup pitch challenge thing together. So let me introduce to you the jury with Claes Magnusson from the Stockholm University ICT Innovation. Stockholm University Innovation Office. Sorry, a lot of things here. They have taken the initiative within the frame of Urban ICT Arena to have a challenge, and they've done it together with Venture Cup, Ericsson Garage, and of course HiQ. HiQ is a supporting partner in the testbed, and they have their contribution to the testbed is this amazing prize that they will tell you about. But first, Claes, please come up and hold the ceremony. Mic number 2.
Hello, everybody. We have, together with Venture Cup and HiQ and Urban ICT Arena, Ericsson Garage, made this challenge for ICT startups at our innovation office and at our institution, the computer science department here in Kista. We started as a short project, and our plan is to continue to do this every year. So I hope you will come and visit us next year as well. And I would like to introduce from HiQ, Charlotta and David, who are and I think, do you want to say something? Yes.
My name is Charlotta Glansberg. I work with innovation at HiQ. Many customers, especially out here in Kista. Looking forward for the pitches.
And hello, my name is David Dinka, and I work with business design. So work quite close with Charlotta and help companies defining their direction for innovation and future businesses.
Mm-hmm. And now it's time to present the startups that is in the competition, and we will start with, and they will pitch Ingenjörsakademin. Where are you guys? Oh, there is one.
Hi. Oh, shit. Hi, my name is Victor, and I'm from Ingenjörsakademin. Engineers, the history and the future heroes of our society. Whoa. The brains behind most of the most advanced and complex products around the world. Everyone inside of here either know or have had studied engineer or the engineer education. No matter where in Sweden or around the world where you study, there's one big problem. The course material is not online, and thus create a big segregation around Sweden when you have to live in Stockholm or in Gothenburg or in the big cities to study a good education. We in Ingenjörsakademin want to solve this problem by creating a platform where students from all universities around Sweden will share their notes and the lecture notes from their courses, and thus learn from each other. Thank you.
The next one is Q Smartly. Welcome.
Hello, good morning, and thank you, Petra, for having me here. I'm deeply gratified for having this opportunity. My name is Anand Chinnapandian, and I'm the founder and CEO of Q Smartly. The one thing we all have experienced in this room is waiting in a queue. Sometimes we've even waited more than 45 minutes for customer service at our bank or governmental agency. And I can tell you for sure, it's a negative experience. It's filled with anxiety, stress, and full of frustration. And so I was waiting at Migrafon Circuit for 95 minutes, yes, 95 minutes, and I decided to change this. So the way to do this is Q Smartly. And what's unique about Q Smartly is that our only aim is to give back people freedom, flexibility, and the gift of time. I would like to show you how we do this, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you might be astounded by its simplicity. Petra. So this is the app, which would be available on iOS and Android. So the interface is pretty simple. So suppose you're using one of these banks. So you actually say what you want to do, and then it'll show you only those places where you can get that service. And then you can also see how many people are queuing at that place. So this brings up open data, right? So this brings information to you, right? And then we can, at any moment, know at any time how many people are queued in one place. So, and you can also remotely join the queue. So next time when you go to one of your customer service agents, they're going to welcome you with your name. And they're going to be like, hello, Petra, how are you doing? They already know why you're coming for, and they're going to say, greet you with a smile. And this is how we give back people freedom and flexibility. And the waiting time you can use to do whatever you want. You can play Pokemon Go. You can go have fika, have your lunch, without just physically waiting in one place. This is 2017. I don't think people should wait in queues. And we are going to help businesses change the way they're going to have customer service. So we are not so boring, and to a stress-free future. This is Q Smartly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now, one node, please.
Hello. All right. My name is Daniel Nordenstrom. I represent OneNode, who wants to digitize the whole charity sector, so to speak. So today I'm going to share with you three goals that this platform has. And the first one is to digitize all charity. And what I mean by that is two things. The first thing is create a digital space for charity organizations. The second one is to change how people and organizations interact with charity. So today you got, the charity organizations got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you pay through invoice, phone bills even, credit card, Swish. So you get all these different channels for every different charity organization. So it's very difficult to monitor or interact with organizations and get involved today. So the name OneNode comes from what we want to do. We want to create change through one node. And to create change, we want to create real change. And today, most platforms, they utilize some sort of monetary change. They raise money for a cause or an organization, but this is only one way to create change. There is actually two ways to create change. The first is monetary. It is money, and it is powerful. But the second one is influence. And that's not something nobody's talking about. Nobody utilizes this. But what happens with all those projects or campaigns that doesn't meet their financial goal? The influence could help overlap that and make real change happen. So in conclusion, we want to create a digital space for organizations, charity organizations. We want to change the way people interact with charity. We want to create real change. And ultimately, we want to become the official platform for charity in Sweden and in the world. Thank you.
So this was the three finalists for the SU ICT Challenge Innovation. And now the jury is coming. The next, yeah, I'm part of the jury too. And now we will present the winner. But first, you would like to present the prize. right, what the winner gets.
Yeah, so what we have found during our work is no matter where you are in a company's journey from start to becoming a global actor, there is always a need to take a step back and look at the business model and take a look about the direction that you want to go forward. So the idea that we would give away is a first step of this, a workshop around how to prioritize and find the direction and basically learn how to say no to stuff, I would say. Yeah, should I say? No. That's pretty much it. And the motivation is?
Now I can read also. This entrepreneur has a great ambition to facilitate and streamline life for both private individuals and institutions through their business concept. With a sustainability splash that meets the global goals, this idea has the potential to be a puzzle in the sustainable and connected city. And the winner is Q Smartly. Yeah, I think that was it for the
diplomas and flowers for the
yes.
well.
And the second prize is for one node. Please come up. And of course, then the third prize is for Ingenjörsakademin. Welcome up.
All right. That's it. Left.
So thank you, everyone, for this. And all of you, all three of you, are of course welcome to start a project in Urban ICT Arena. We need to spend some time to find the right one for you, where we create win-win-win, as we always do. So, did you have a nice fika? Wonderful. So here we go again. It's time for Theo Kanter to come and talk. And I can see already, Theo, that you don't have a head mic. So you need to go up and get the head mic first. That's how we do things. Okay, so who wants to cue smartly from now on? Definitely me. Oh, I love this. I want this to be on the market already. Yes, Anand, you have a lot of work to do and high expectations. Oh, I'm so happy. Congratulations. Now, Theo.
Yeah, I'm fully instrumented now.
The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. And you have to guide me in the technology. Aha, here. Okay, great. Thank you for having me here. And what I will be talking about is not on these slides, so maybe you can... It is? Ah, indistinguishable from magic. Right, thanks to Petra, not thanks to me. Anyway, the indistinguishable from magic is what we think of Stockholm. we'd like to be Stockholm something, a very smart city, and any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic, as Arthur C. Clarke put it. So anyway, my talk will first point at some facts that I discovered when I looked at Petra's exposition of what the automagic city should entail. And then I found a ranking list where the Easy Park group looked at different factors on the right, what is in a city, and tried to rank all the cities. And Stockholm came out third, so that is great. And one of the factors was how does Stockholm perform regarding becoming smarter, so the smart factor. And there we were slightly less, so I think we should look at today at what we can do to come out on top by making it a little bit smarter. And maybe, thanks to all the talks that we have seen so far, a lot smarter. So let's have a look. There are all kinds of factors, from smart parking, smart car sharing services, things we've looked at. And one of the things we've looked at is, start looking at, is the cyclist safety in traffic. So these cycles, when they are in traffic and when you have a street corner, there is danger. And so we want Petra to be safe and everybody else to be safe as a pedestrian. So alerting people to danger, what is going to happen, both cars, pedestrians, cyclists. This is not very easy. So cars today have sensors. We might have a sensor on these bikes, but if these sensors could speak to each other, could we do something to keep us safe? And we think we can do this. So there is the GIS data, there are models, there is 5G, there are sensors from us, and so we know where we are, and so we can make safe crossings, and maybe even in a wider scope. So this is a project that we're doing together, not only Stockholm University, where I'm from, and my colleagues, Erik Perjuns and Mohammed, also KTH, ITRL, SRI, and other organizations. So this is something that is very interesting, but it also leads in a wider scope, because if we know what is going on in a crossing, then if we commute from A to B, we had some presentations, then what is going on around us? We'd like to know that, and to help us. Probably you have seen this before when you, let's try this laser point, when you're at Helenelund, that you're wondering, what is going on around us? And this is a photograph of myself, so it's in real life, IRL. And I talked to a colleague this morning, and who was one of the speakers, and he said, yeah, what's going on around me? And he said, well, I'm on my way. That's what I know. And okay. So this is something I'd like to see G-City move into, also the things Klaus talked about. So, and then I think, what do we have right now? What's wrong with this picture? We becoming smarter, because what I have in my phone is something that we have over here. We have a lot of apps, and basically there is a lot of data around, but I have to figure out myself what I'm going to use to solve my problem. And often I don't even get that far because things change and I'm too late. So it's really hard to make things really smart. So I would like to have something that is automatic, and the automagic part that Petra is talking about is very important. So what I look what I'd like to argue is in a different direction, to have something that forks into where Klaus was heading with his data and his visualization of the city, that we have this human-computer interaction which is automatic. I don't have to figure out which apps to connect because they organize themselves. They tell us via some automatic interface that we have mobile phones, we have other things, and they mediate automatically what we should know. I don't have to ask for it. And we talk to some smart function that assembles that information and gathers that information to an automatic function which tells us what to do, but also adapts things automatically to us. So in the crossing, we are alerted to danger. I don't have to have an app. I'm in traffic and I can ask for a service. So what does the city look like then? If we look into this direction, what could be the future? City of Stockholm, there could be more than meets the eye. When we walk around, there could things be telling us what to do, not only for traffic, but also for entertainment, tourism, telling us what we could do in a certain place, all automatic based on the open data that is shared from sensors. So there can be more than meets the eye in places. And I think that is an exciting thing, that what Klaus was talking about, it's not only in a computer and where we have a game interface, it could be something that is accessible to us where we are. It is even audio with oral communication. We have mobile phones, we have 2 ears, we can have something in 3D, in audio around us. And there are lots of possibilities with interaction. So the automatic city leads to some questions. If we are the interface to ambient intelligence, then this leads to some questions we can ask us. How do we interact with this? There are lots of choices, and it has to serve us, so it has to be natural interface. Then if we have these AI functions and they are in the background, so they become ambient intelligence, how do we equip things with some AI functions? How does it do that automatically? And how does AI move into networks? Because clearly the data has to travel from where it originates to us and back to those functions that have to adapt themselves and make clever choices. How do you retrofit something in extended reality? If you have new interfaces, then you can retrofit a city. But how do we do that? Is that something that is common? It is a new data layer? I like to think so. And because that's what also Klaus, in his important demonstration, shows us, there can be a new data layer. It's a new bus of information that we can access to visualize, to adapt functions. And so if there is a new layer, then there is also some control. And I think nobody really addressed the question, but I think we have to think about who is in control of that data. And and who controls the people who are in control of the data. So it's, already the Romans were, yes, there's a Roman poet who invented that, who guards the guardians. Okay, anyway, that's for the next conference. So I'd like to advocate that in Petra's excellent model with 4 layers, that I'd like to say, invite you to think about an extra layer with extended reality, which is something that is shares the data in a city which is accessible for everything and where we can visualize things and where that drives the automatic functions, so extended reality. And it is driven by not only by data but also ambient intelligence, which is another abbreviation of AI. So these are my conclusions then regarding the ranking. I think we can do excellently if we move in this direction with us at the center. There will be automatic agile experiences for us when things adapt to us, not only functions, but also the networks adapt to us, and we look to how data can drive that via AI functions. So decentralize AI to not only be in analytics, but also to go into things that do smart things. So the bicycle can do smart things, the crossing can do smart things. When we're at the station, we can get some service that does something for us. All that data is in a smart city and can be lead to an exciting development. From DSV SU, the Department of Computer and System Sciences, we love to cooperate with everybody. There are many students skilled in programming. We have digital media and game design labs. We have an interaction design program. We also have part of the infrastructure to work with intelligent functions in this open source environment for experimentation, mediasense.se. So this is what my conclusions then. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Theo. So now to the question.
Yes, the big one.
What would you, as a citizen, wish for in an automagic city?
Yes, the first thing. Yes, the first thing, I think there were a few people who were thinking about this, is when I go from A to B, I'm often puzzled, and now I would like to have to know what my options are in every instance, what's going on around me. If I could just be aware of that, then I would be calmer and I would have not stress, as somebody said before. When I'm in a car, when I'm commuting, then I know, and that will be great.
That's really great. Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
So now we know what we shall deliver in a couple of years then.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Theo.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so it's time for Lars Wig, representing IBM here today.
Right, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you, Petra. I don't think I have any slides, maybe I have one slide, but anyway.
This is the one slide.
This is the one slide, thank you.
This is the IBM slide.
I will talk to this slide, perfect. Thank you very much. So I'm very happy to be here. Thank you, Petra, for the invitation and for the Urban ICT Arena team. It's really a pleasure, and I'm happy to be here for several reasons. I will come back to what those reasons are. The first reason is, okay, I will tell you a little bit about who I am, maybe. I'm Lars Wig, I'm working for IBM, working with Sweden, Nordic and Europe from a number of different perspectives within business development and business model development and ecosystems and partnerships across industry. So that would take many hours to work with all industries. So I have some of favorites, and one is, in fact, the smart cities, which I've been working with now for, well, above 10 years, together with the city of Stockholm and with different agencies and governments, etc. The other favorites of mine is labor market, education, healthcare, and security, and some other. But all of those goes also hand in hand. And what I like with Urban ICT Arena, to start with, is that you really are a horizontal ecosystem that enables cross-fertilization between sectors. We have a number of so-called test beds in Sweden, well above 100 test beds in Sweden. Most of them are in fact vertical test beds attached to one or few companies, large companies, which is very important. But also you represent, I think, the most advanced horizontal test bed in Sweden, which makes it even more interesting. Because in one of my hats or my tasks in the world is that I work for the Swedish government in one of those collaboration programs within smart industry. And that really, the task there is really to try to create new ways of collaboration, new ways of working between large companies, small companies, government agencies and academia. What I have acknowledged you the last weeks, months and years is what I was part of an OECD conference last week, had discussions there, and we say in Sweden that we are advanced in collaboration, etc. And we are. We have everything in place. We heard that during the day here. There's so many things, good things that you really can work on, technology, everything from 5G to AI, etc., etc. We have a high level of education here in Sweden, etc. But when it comes, now comes one negative thing, but we'll turn back to being positive in a while again here. We are in a ranking that OECD, they visited Sweden, and they are working on a report. And in the first version of that report, we are put in NIME in place 36 out of 37. Poland is number 37 when it comes to open innovation. And the usage of data-driven innovation, you know, the PSI directive, and government giving away open data for innovative entrepreneurs, small companies and large companies to work on. We are quite lousy at that, and I think that we should really work on that very hard. And I see that Urban ICT Arena could really be the place where we work on that model to take the lead in Europe, in Sweden, and starting in Stockholm, and Urban ICT Arena as the core of that, forming that model. So right now we are in, for example, we're working on a project right now together with within the Urban ICT Arena, and also within these collaboration programs together between IBM, some other parties like RISE, CISP, Teknikföretagen, Ivar Jakobsson International, on method development for how can we improve this collaboration methods and really be open, take down the barriers. As we heard from Klaus in RISE here, we have so much data, but it's siloed into places. You can ask yourself, why is that in Sweden? We are advanced, by the way. Why aren't we better already in this area? And I think it's about culture. Maybe it's the fault of Axel Oxenstierna, who developed those silos 300 years ago, or it's a cultural thing. But I think we have to really to break down the barriers here. One other barrier that we have to break down is the barrier between public and private. We see the divergence in a number of different sectors right now, which is a little bit worrying me. It can be fixed, but right now we are moving in the wrong direction, I would say. It comes to healthcare, it comes to education, it comes into transportation and labor market. And that is the gap that I see that is developing and worrying me right now, which we will fix in this partnership. But that is, if you compare with those old, little bit costly structures that the counties versus Korean My Doctor, for example, you have in the education, you have a lot of digital online courses in multiple languages versus the traditional education system. You have one of the central agencies taking care of employment services in Sweden. I don't mention the name, but you also have a number of startups who is doing that directly, connecting people to employers with very few people. So what I see that we have to find a model also of collaboration between public and private. Could be that the private entrepreneurs being subcontractors to the central agencies and doing the innovative work, and the official tasks, that authority that has to be managed by central agencies, they could probably concentrate on those, but in collaboration. So I see a number of different opportunities here when it comes to working together and develop methods of this. When I sat with the OECD people, we said that probably in the long run, this will take that we change a number of legislations and rules here, but we should not start there. We should start bottom up with new innovations based on technology, and new innovations coming from small innovative companies. And then in 5-10 years, maybe we have to start with changing legislation where we get to the obstacles. But I think this is really a good start. IBM is extremely happy to be part of Urban ICT Arena. We have been, I think we've had this first discussion about this in spring 2016, I think. We formalized it last autumn. And now we have done 1 year here. And we have been part of a number of smaller projects, because we are not only interested in method development and getting collaboration in place, we also want to contribute practically to Urban ICT Arena. So we have done some AI/Watson/Bluemix projects for transportation together with Traffic Authority Stockholm. We're looking forward to 2018. We work in the drone project and other projects. So we would like to play two roles here. One role is that we want to practically contribute to the projects, but also being part of managing and developing the collaboration ecosystems between public, between small innovative companies and large manufacturing companies, for example, but also large agencies. Because right now we have there's a scareness of collaboration. I don't really why, but that's a little bit in the culture of Sweden. Academia doesn't really want to talk to private companies. Agencies a little bit afraid about public tender legislation. So we have a number of barriers that we slowly have to bring down here. And there is no legislation. We talk about legislation from the European Union. For example, innovation partnership that everyone has talking a little bit about now. How can we manage that? In Europe, right now, between the European Union membership countries, there's 12. That's not a large number, but 12 innovation partnerships has been taking place, like social impact bonds, etc., those kind of constructs. In Sweden, we have 0 of those. So our dear ministers are asking us, why don't we do more? They are pushing the agencies, which in turn is starting talk with the private industry. I had a meeting yesterday morning with Upphandlingsmyndigheten in Solna, and they were really, well, who should take care of this? I don't think we will find one partner who will drive this innovation partnership. I think the solution resides within forming constellations, like Urban ICT Arena, constructs, consortiums who can take the lead in finding a social task or a business task or problem, and find a group of people working on that problem together. And there we come again to that we have to find a formula and a method to work together in a much more transparent way, sharing information, etc. And I would really like, so that's a challenge to us all. I would like us to do this centralized or centered in Urban ICT Arena with a number of partners in this method development, so we can take the lead for Europe. And maybe, and this is also, of course, a question about competitiveness for our country, it's about jobs, and it's about export. So why don't we start here in Stockholm, in Kista, and find this model of collaboration for Europe? Because we have problems in Europe. Our BNP is decreasing, our competitive advantages are decreasing versus Asia, maybe also versus Africa in the long run, versus US and Latin America. So we have a big tasks on our shoulder, and I'm ready to step up, and hopefully you are too. So thank you. That's my...
Thank you, Lars. This is actually music to my ears. I hear a lot of possibilities and a lot of invitation.
Right.
And that is making me very happy. Okay, so now you get the question. What would you wish for in an automagic city?
Yes, I've been able to rehearse a little bit since I heard that question 5 times, so I think I have some kind of answer to that. And I think that you asked me in terms of a citizen in Stockholm, maybe? Yeah, so let me put myself in the shoe of a citizen then. As a citizen, we heard about this, what is the name again? Q-Smart? Yeah, correct. Q-Smartly. Congratulations, by the way. I would like us to have an interface to all services that comes from both the city and maybe also private companies when it comes to how can I give the old story, how can I get from A to B, but also how can I understand what's the best education to take from a lifelong learning perspective or for my kids. To have some kind of artificial intelligence or customer services, a very simple interface to all services. So I don't have to bother about which department within the city or which central agency in Sweden or in Europe for that sake is responsible as a back office. I want an extremely simple front office. I think our gentleman from KTH was on that spot also, to have a very intuitive human-machine interface, to use that phrase. Because it's too cumbersome today to be a citizen. I want to concentrate on my value add to myself and to society and don't have to bother about what's behind the scenes. Long answer to a short question.
Very good answer, and I just can say that I agree.
Good.
Thank you so much, Lars.
Thank you.
Varsågod. Okay, so last one out. Now it's time for Peter Sjödin from KTH.
Yes, hello. So I'm Peter Sjödin from KTH here in Kista. And what I'm going to talk about, KTH we are involved in quite a few activities here, and what I'm going to focus on now is talking about what are the things that KTH are bringing to the Urban ICT Arena in terms of sort of facilities and resources. And the first one that I would like to mention is Kista Mentor Space. And you can think of this as, if you want, as a condensed version of the Urban ICT Arena. Because what Kista Mentor Space is about is it is a meeting place where academia and industry and society and the city should be meeting and working together on interesting things. And it could be ideas for exciting new products, but it could also be that we like to learn more about something, explore new technologies, skill sets, materials, and things. You've probably heard about maker spaces, and mentor space is a bit like that. But what is special and unique about the Kista Mentor Space is, I mean, as you can tell by the name, it focuses on mentoring. And mentorship, I mean, that's an extremely important part of entrepreneurship. Because getting guidance, support, coaching in your process of bringing your ideas forward to innovation is extremely important. So this is one of the specialties of Kista Mentor Space. And another unique profile of Kista Mentor Space is it's particularly focused on the community needs. So where is the city going, and what are the interesting things, and how can we work together on that? So education support, innovation, business creations in the context of the community. And one very good example is the Kista Mentor Space is working very closely with a good relationship with the public library in Kista and doing all kinds of exciting things together. So this is really just a teaser. If you want to know more about the visions behind the Kista Mentor Space and how you can benefit from this, how you can bring your ideas and explore them further into Kista Mentor Space, you should talk to Mark Smith. He's at the top of the stairs. He's waving your hand now for you so you can see him. So he's right up there. So Kista Mentor Space is one of the things that KTH is bringing them to the Urban ICT Arena. And then we have this one. And to be honest, I was hesitating a bit. I mean, do I have the guts to come to Ericsson Studio and talk about 2G in these days when the world is so excited by 5G and exploring that and all the interesting things? But I mean, if you think about it, I mean, 2G and GSM, GPRS, etc., it actually has some unique features. I mean, you find it everywhere, more or less. And there are places of the world where this is your only means of mobile communication. There is GSM, and that's it. In terms of IoT, when you have your sensor and you want to connect it to the internet somehow, what are your options? And there is a long list of different link technologies that you can use, but you can always count on GPRS and 2G being there. So that's an option it's available to you almost everywhere. And it's extremely affordable. You can buy GPRS radio for a few dollars and put it on in your device. So it is. So it has really has some certain interesting properties that still makes it attractive. And Sweden is doing something quite unique. We have deregulated parts of the GSM band, so some frequencies in the GS band are now open. So what we've done at KTH is that we set up a base station, 2G base station here at Kistagången and the Electrum building. It comes from a company called VNL. The services, internet services, are from a Kista company called WX3. They provide the services there. And so if you have some ideas, if you want to explore 2G as a ubiquitous and affordable connectivity technology, you're more than welcome to contact us, because this is something that we also provide in then to the Urban ICT Arena. Mats Nilsson is the person to contact at KTH for this. Okay. So looking forward, what is KTH, what do we want to do? And one of the things that we would like to focus on for the next year is to say that, well, we think we need to have more sensors here, and we need to have more open data. So this is one activity that we would like to bring here, to deploy more sensors. There is the pictures here on the slide is from a project that we are doing together with the city of Uppsala. We would like to do the same thing with the city of Stockholm. It's a project about sensor platforms, sensor architectures, and open data. The application area here is environment monitoring and with a focus on air quality. So there are a number of, it's a Vinnova project called Green IoT. There are a number of professional vendor manufacturers in the project, 3 of them, that we're using and deploying in Uppsala and making the data available online. So this is something that we would like to explore also further for the next year, and I'll be happy to chat more about you afterwards if you would like to know more about this and be interesting to be part of this. And now what I would like to do is to be a little bit more down to earth, because, and what I want to take this opportunity. We often get these questions. Now we have these great facilities and we have these resources here, and how can we get KTH students to be involved in this and come here and innovate and experiment and play around and see what we can do with this? And we would love to do that. We would love, but the important thing that I would like to stress here is that at KTH we work always in the context of courses. I mean, we're educating students. They come here to get a degree. Getting a degree means doing coursework, getting credits, and all that sort of. You all know about this. I mean, this is what it is about. So this sort of brings me to my wish list. This is the time of year when it's time to making wishes, right? So what we wish is for you to come up with interesting, cool, great projects that students can work on, and that we can, and then we can structure them, organize them in such a way that we can use them as student projects. And the easiest, the closest way of doing that is in terms of thesis projects, XJobb. I mean, we all know about XJobb, how that works, which is technically a course that the students are taking at KTH. We've actually been quite successful in the last few years now at KTH in attracting students. So we see more and more, actually a large increase in students that are coming from all parts of the world and paying to get an education at KTH, which is great news. But it also means that we have more and more students that are looking for a thesis project and need to find interesting things to work with. So please think hard about this. What kind of interesting projects can you do? Can you come and bring to us? It may not be always so easy to see this is a suitable project, not for a student to work on, but that is something that we'll be happy, more than happy, to discuss with you. We do this all the time, so come with your project ideas to us, and we'll be happy to see how can we make this fit for students to work on. And we are doing this quite a lot with the industry. We are not doing it so much with the city, with the community. So this would be my second part here, is that I would also like to see more projects which are related to the city and the city development, the way we can work together with the city, the academia, and the industry. Okay, so that sort of ends my wish list for 2018.
Thank you, Peter. These students of yours, they are a real resource, and you may help us in order to find a win-win situation here, so we can, benefit from each other.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so you're last out now. What would you, as a citizen, wish for in an automagic city?
Oh yes, that one. Well, I think I would like to have help with the decision making. I mean, that is sort of how should I go? Which road should I pick? And given the current situation in terms of sort of air quality, crowds, and so on. And but I also like to pick up on this sort of stress part, because I want the city to be there for me and help me when I want it. I don't want it to push me around and boss me around, and so I want this to happen in an unobtrusive way. It should be there for me when I want it and I need it.
I like that thought. Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, do you know that you have met my steering committee now? All these cool people, except for we are missing out on one, and that is Maria and Katarina here from Länsstyrelsen, the County Administration Board, that is also one of the founding partners. Could you stand up, please? Way! Okay, this is what we think, what we are heading for. And if you are curious about what we mean about the Autumn Magic City, please go into our website and read our manifest. And you can also interact and share with us what you think should be a part of an Autumn Magic City on Twitter and on Instagram. Now, last but definitely not least, Naud Abera and Sofia Åkvist, could you please come down here? Mic 1. Because I haven't been alone in making this happen. Without these guys, this would not have been possible. Next year, we will probably be more, like double.
I hope so.
Yes, because we are growing. So, Sofia, Naud. Okay, let's do this. Thank you for this year, and we're looking forward for the next. Okay, so happy holidays, everyone. I cannot wait until the 8th of January when I'm on again. See you then, and we start to plan new projects together. Thank you. Have a nice lunch.